Hello crafty friends, this is the Paper Chef here. In today's tutorial we're going to create, or actually we're not going to create the box itself, we're going to decorate a sweet little treat box by Stampin' Up. These little boxes are in our mini catalog, and the stamp set we'll be using is the Sale-A-Bration stamp set called Friendly Hello. This tutorial is part of my Sale-A-Bration card club series, of which I've created 4 cards already, and then this was one of the bonus projects. I actually have 6 projects in that kit that some of you ordered. You can follow along with whichever materials you have. So we created this card using the same stamp set, the Friendly Hello stamp set. And in this, when we made this card, we used the designer series paper that you get for free when you spend $100 at my Stampin' Up store. You don't just get the stamp set, you get the designer series paper as well. All right, so, but right now we're just going to be using the stamp set. These little boxes are part of our mini catalog, which I just had right here. I did. Maybe it'll just appear like as I go through the tutorial. But these little mini boxes are part of our catalog, and they're called Sweet Little Boxes. And we're also going to be using some Sweet Talk Designer Series paper, which I've been using a lot on my channel. Stick around to the end of this video because I have so many Sale-A-Bration projects to show you, including some that I just created in my last tutorial, which was using the ScanNCut. I created loads and loads of shaker cards. We used the ScanNCut technique with a different Sale-A-Bration item. I will show you those cards at the end. All right, so I want to start at the beginning for this kind of tutorial because I always like to show you all the little steps. It might not look very hard, and it's not, but there are a lot of steps to this, so I just want to go through because I've embossed. There's a lot of details, I should say, not a lot of steps, and more of like a lot of details. Oh, there are my catalogs. I told you they would just appear because I had everything out. And then what happens is when you go live on YouTube, you have to take a thumbnail picture. So I had to like set up things to take a photo. That's the photo that you see as sort of like your little sneak peek. So, okay. So anyway, now I can show you. This is the Sale-A-Bration club I've been working on. We're doing 6 projects. I have a lot of projects in this one because this is one of my workshop series, and it's part of my club. So I've done projects on all these things, but this is the one I'm doing right now. I'm just doing something with this stamp set. You can't get the stamp set separately, and you can't buy it. You can only get this whole bundle, stamp set and this paper, for free when you spend $100. So you can't get them separately. These Sale-A-Bration brochures are very unique, and when things come out, then you can just get them during this Sale-A-Bration time. We also have a sign-up special, like for joining Stampin' Up during the Sale-A-Bration special. And that's at the back here. You get 2 free stamp sets. And there's a lot of other perks. All right, but we'll do another video about that. Anyway, in this catalog, in the Sweet Talk suite, this is where I'm using the paper. This chevron, where is it? Hold on, I got my glasses on, but I can't see it. There it is. There it is. The chevron embossing folder. I used the real red faux linen ribbon, but then I couldn't find it for this tutorial, so I'm going to use for this tutorial, a piece of this real red ruffled ribbon, which is still current. But this ribbon is what I used in my sample. And the Sweet Talk Designer Series paper and these sweet little boxes. Okay, so you recognize all this. You probably should recognize it because I've been doing a lot of stuff with the suite on my channel. All right, keep on saying hello as you come in, and I will say hello back in a little while. You're going to need a few pieces of cardstock for this tutorial. One is the pool party, a little piece of pool party that you're going to punch out. One is this little piece of real red that you're going to emboss. We're going to cut it. And then you need a piece of this that you're going to stamp on. But we're going to die cut before we stamp. So those are the 3 colors. This is basic white, real red, and pool party. So let's cut the piece. And those of you in my Sale-A-Bration club, I have a PDF tutorial, but I will write this down for you on my mat for the rest of you. So the piece is 3.5. Okay, 3.5 wide. Let me use I have 2 blades. Let me use my sharper blade. That's my dull blade because I put a little sticker on it. My sharper blade has no sticker on it. That's just how I know. All right, so what did we say? 3 1/4. Let's make sure that was 3 1/4. Oops. It was not because I wasn't paying attention. It should have been 3 1/4. Okay. So 3 1/4. Right there, 3 1/4 by 2 1/4. 2 1/4. All right, well, you know how I roll. I like to just cut a couple things at once. So let's do a couple of these at once so we can emboss them and everything. All right, so now we have that, and there'll be another time we use the trimmer later on in the tutorial, but let's just do this, and we're going to take our little, see, that's the little part that's on the box. See, I want you to get a close-up look at that so you can see that it's embossed. The piece is embossed. It just adds that extra little, ooh, how did they do that kind of look when you're doing your projects? So let's go over here and get the chevron. This is, oh, why do I keep calling it chevron? I'm so sorry. All right. You know what? I keep on calling it that because it looks like chevron to me. It is called the gingham embossing folder. I think I've been calling it that chevron since I opened it up out of the box. I think that's what it should be called if I were naming things, because it doesn't look like gingham to me. But anyway, doesn't matter, right? All right, so you're going to use plate number 1. Well, I guess it does matter if you want to buy it. We don't need that special thin die adapter. We need a plate number 3. And then we need our embossing folder, and then we need another plate number 3. Okay, so we need to put our paper inside our embossing folder. So that's our sandwich. We call it the die cutting sandwich, and you're going to put the embossing folder in hinge side first. Okay, now bear with me. I have a lot of beginners on my channel, so I kind of like I'm going to do one at a time because I kind of like the pattern better when it goes that way. So you just want to make sure it's not crooked, right? And just sort of put it in there, and you could use a piece of washi tape to hold it down if you want. If I put it the other way, I could have had 2 going in there at one time. You know what I'm saying? Like, but then my pattern might not have been the way I wanted it to go. And what you don't want to do is put them in. You don't want to put the embossing folder in sideways like that. All right, check out this. This is so cool. Look at how cool that is. When you use the gingham embossing folder. Gingham, gingham, gingham. How am I going to remember that? Because it doesn't look like that to me. All right, so there I go. I'm doing it again. And remember, you need one plate number 3. And then you need the embossing folder, and then you need another plate number 3. And if you can't see, there's a handle over here. See, here's the whole machine. Okay? I like to get tight in here so you can see details. But then sometimes you can't see the handle. But now we're going to use that machine again for some die cutting. And then we will need that other adapter, that plate adapter. So now we have this part done. And we'll make 2 of those boxes at once. All right, because we always make multiples of things. So now we're going to take this, now we're going to do the sandwich. We're going to do some more die cutting. Plate 1, plate 2, which is the thin die adapter. You need it for every time you use thin dies. A plate number 3, one plate number 3. The piece of white that I told you to take out. And this time, we're going to use the stitched rectangle dies. They don't come in this case. This is an empty stamp case, which I have to remind myself to order some more empty stamp cases. Yeah, it does look different than how it's embossed. Thank you. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't look like, see, I wouldn't have even liked this really, to tell you the truth, but I like it when I see this kind of pattern in it. I mean, this doesn't do it justice at all. The cover doesn't. I agree with you. I agree with you, Gloria, how different that looks. Okay. Anyway, so we're going to use this little one. This is called the stitch rectangle dies. We're going to take the piece of white cardstock. This is basic white, the regular basic white. You could use the thick basic white as well. We're going to put this down, face down. Now, I don't like to just waste a good crank through. I'm going to save room because I need 2 of those, but let's just do a couple more while we're there. Okay, let's do that so there's room to do 1 more of those. But you see what I'm saying? Like, never waste time. I don't mean time. What's the word? Never waste a good crank through the machine. Always just kind of use up your little spaces and cut out some other things. But since I do need 2 of that one, I'm going to leave a little room for that. So I'm going to now put the plate number 3 on top of that sandwich. So the only difference between this sandwich and the other sandwich was that this one has the thin die adapter. I call it the thin die adapter because, you know, I'm a Sizzix girl, and before we started making our own machines, I think we still do use Sizzix. See, we do use Sizzix to make the dies. But anyway, that's what they call it sometimes. Anyway, so these are such cool little stitch rectangles. They just give it that extra oomph. And I'm going to show you how to also ink around the edges for some extra dimension. Okay, that's the piece we're going to use. So while we're here, though, and like I said, just cut some extras out. Well, this one's kind of harder to get out. I have to use my little take your pick tool to get that one out. I'm going to go ahead and just do 1 more. Okay, with that little piece there. You might recall that we used a bigger stitch rectangle earlier, like when we did the earlier meeting last week, when we did this hello friend, we used a bigger stitch rectangle. All right, so now let's get to stamping. I like to, you could have, and you know, you might be asking yourself, Self, why doesn't she stamp first and then put the little die on there? Try to center it, use a piece of tape, make sure it's not crooked, you know, and then cut it out. Well, I just think it's way easier to stamp on something once the pieces are cut out. And then if you mess up, you flip it over or you use the other one. Like, I just find it easier to stamp on those once they're cut out. And also, it could smear when you go through. It could smear, you know, when you put it through the machine. Just for many reasons, I like to. I'm just going to throw that one in there so I don't lose my die. I tend to lose my dies. I find them, like, all over my house. All right, so let's take a silicone mat for when you're stamping. You're going to stamp. It's good to stamp on a silicone mat. It's a little craft mat. We'll see what else we can stamp on that. All right, we're going to do, you have my love and support using Highland Heather, because Highland Heather is a coordinating color. We're using a photopolymer stamp. That means you're going to put your stamp facing up, and it's a flat side up. So you're going to put the flat side like that, and you're going to put your stamping block onto it. Okay, what is that? Looks like a piece of plastic. I don't know. All right, well, anyway, let's do this again. Put that right there, flat side up, put the stamping block to it. But don't go stamping straight on there. Let's take out our ink. We're going to take our Highland Heather, open it up, flip it around. I don't know how my label got gray when it's supposed to be sort of a lavender. And we're going to, this is where you can shop, by the way. My website should be visible. Anyway, it's where you can get Sale-A-Bration names. So what I like to do is always stamp onto my little placemat here. These are little Stampin' Up! Placemats that I use for my videos, and I call them placemats. They're not really placemats, but you know what I mean. Just, I always stamp onto something like cheaper paper before I stamp onto my nice, shiny, basic white paper that has really good ink absorption. And I don't want to mess them up because I've already die cut it, so that's why. Okay? That's why I stamp onto it. After I condition my stamp. See how nice that looks? Okay, and this is like, condition my stamp means I have to just get some ink to absorb in there and wiggle it around and all that. All right, so what I think I'm going to do for this one is I think I'm just going to go ahead and use these two with the same one, but put a couple little sprigs in there or something, or put little hearts on the side. So I'm going to still use the same one, these other ones. They'll be fine. Not for the box, but for something else. We're just stamping them while I'm here. And I don't know if this one will fit, but we'll try it. This one isn't quite as tall. Okay? So these will be good for cards later. I just thought this would be a good project to do because with Valentine's Day coming up, you have my love and support works for Valentine's Day, but it also just works for, you know, sympathy and things like that. Actually, there you go. I do have to make a sympathy card, so that this can be a good for sympathy card. So now we want to take these. Let's take this and move that off to the side. Oops. Sorry. Didn't mean to wiggle. Wiggle it just a little bit. All right, now what we're going to do is we're going to take this box and fold it some. Okay, and I say fold it some because we're just going to like fold it along the score lines. And what's really great about these boxes is that they have the adhesive already on them. So the adhesive's on the inside, and you're just going to go like that and assemble them. But what I like to do is I like to take the adhesive off one side at a time, because when I tried to put both sides on at once, it's 3M adhesive, by the way, it's really strong. When I tried to put both sides of the adhesive on at once, my box got a little wiggled. So let's do that. Yes, it worked. Okay, my box is not crooked, and then redo the other side. So that comes like that. They're really strong, and you can stamp right onto them. Wait till you see what I did with the little otter. I pulled out an otter from a retired stamp set and mixed it with an otter from a regular stamp set, which I'll show you later. And I stamped right onto this box. It would be good to heat set it, though. All right, the reason I did this is because I keep putting this box backwards. I keep on putting the image here. And I don't think it looks as good here because, look, the seam opens. That's the reason I'm assembling it before I decorate, because I keep decorating it upside down, backwards. I think that this should be the front, where you open it up like that, and this should be the front. And I'll show you what you can put in your boxes, too. Okay, because, look, there's no seam. See? There's no seam. So that's why I'm making that the front. So you're going to take your, oh gosh, gingham. I did it right. I said gingham, but I even caught myself. I'm like, is that right? Is that right? Take your gingham embossing folder, and you're going to put a little bit of seal adhesive on it, or glue, but glue takes longer to dry. I guess both sides look exactly the same for this kind of embossing folder, but sometimes it matters. Sometimes like the deboss side looks better than the emboss side, or etc. But this one looks good both ways. Okay, I think that's the top. Okay, I'm putting it like that. Okay, and then if you missed it, we'll just go ahead and do another one quicker, meaning I like to always do things on my channel slow, and then I just, do it again a little bit faster, and maybe you'll get a little different angle. But I tend to take, if I'm putting together boxes like this, I do it while I'm watching TV. It's just something easier to do while you're watching TV and stuff. Okay, stand it up, push it on. So the best part of these little boxes, besides them being strong and food safe, is that they have the adhesive on them. Not all of our boxes have that, but most of them assemble pretty easily without doing much to them. And again, that is the front. That's the front because there's no seam. You see, that's the back. All right. So now we need the little belly band to go around it. And originally I was going to do this project with the Sale-A-Bration paper, like the rainbow, and then I was like, oh, I can't because it's only 6 inches. You need 7 inches for the belly band. You can't use some of our DSP. I could have used the friendly hello, or the hello friend. What was it called? I could have used this DSP, but then I thought I wanted to do more of a Valentine's theme. I was going to originally try to use like this DSP or this DSP, but then the problem, and I say DSP, that means designer series paper. But this one's 12 inches, so I could have used this one. But it had fresh freesia and not Highland Heather, a different kind of color. And I wanted to use like this paper because of Valentine's Day. So this is the piece I'm deciding to use. And it is part of the Sweet Talk designer series paper. And it's nice because it has it like, it has it. Okay, do a close-up of the gingham embossing folder. Okay, I'm getting asked to do a close-up of the gingham embossing folder. Okay, here is a close-up. Here, let's put some paper behind it. Oh, that doesn't help, does it? And that doesn't help. You get the idea. You need a piece of solid. Maybe my pool party would work behind there. There you go. See that? Hopefully that's better angle. That's what the embossing photo looks like. Anyway, so let's do the little strips. So what I need to do is I'm going to cut. These are going to be 1 inch by 7 inch. So let's do this. Let's go. And we want the little, I'm just going to do 1 inch here. Actually here, let's do 2 inch, and then we can do 2 inch and we can get it in half later after I do the 7 inch part. So I got the 2 inch part, but I need these to be 1 inch by 7 inch. So what you want to do for 7 inch when you have this kind of trimmer is you want to take your arm out. The arm of the trimmer, I mean, right? You're going to take the arm of the trimmer out, and you're going to go over here, and you're going to go over to the 7 inch. See? That's the 7 inch, because otherwise when it's closed, it only goes out to 6 inches. So we're going to go over to 7 inches. Okay, and then what I'm going to do, and you notice how the pattern goes. You want the pattern to go like this because when you wrap it around the little box, you want to be able to read in French and German and English. Okay, so let's put that right there. We're going to go to 1 inch, right? And now, because I made it 2 inches, now we have 2 belly bands made at once. Okay, so now let's put those onto the box. And they're going to go between the hearts. So we need the hearts. So what I did is I put down, so let's see if I use dimensionals. Yes, I did. So what we're going to do is let's find the top of the boxes again. Let's make sure, I'm just going to open these up because it's easier to make sure I know that they're the top. All right, so what I'm going to do for the bigger heart, and I say heart, we're going to use the heart punch pack. This is fantastic. I use it all the time. It's a great way of layering hearts. I actually have some friends coming over this weekend, and I'm going to not do the die cutting thing because I actually have, one of them has their son coming. He's only 10. I'm not whipping out the whole die cutting machine and doing all the fancy stuff, right? These are not regular crafters. I'm letting them go to town with the punches. This is the perfect thing for just going like this and layering up stuff. So let's make a couple pool party hearts. Why pool party? Why Hide and Heather? Because these are coordinating colors with the Sweet Talk Designer Series paper, of which I'm using for this project. And then to layer your hearts, you're going to take this one and take the other part of your punch pack, and you're going to layer your hearts. I kind of want a little bit of red in there, a little bit of real red. So I'm going to use this side of this striped paper, and you're just going to get your heart in there. And okay, and you're just going to make a couple of these. All right. And now you're going to layer those up with dimensionals. So this is a very useful tool to have, this heart punch pack, year-round. Now I don't want to put the other heart on there yet. You'll see what I mean. I'm only going to put this heart down onto here, okay, like this, onto your box. But don't put the other heart on there yet, because I put the belly band in between, and that's why I just want to show you that. So we're going to put the other box. I'm just using Stampin' Dimensionals. These are just little foam adhesives, of which I go through like they're water. I need to order some more of these tonight. I absolutely love them. They're very strong, and they give that extra layer of dimension. All right, so they're actually called dimensionals. So let's do that. And now that we have that, let's put a little piece of, okay, this is an extra one. We're going to go there. So we're going to take our little belly band and we're going to wrap it around. And we only need to worry about the back. But what I like to do is I like to just, before I glue it, I like to train the paper. This is what I like to do. Is just sort of fold the paper around the box. Train the paper so it doesn't pop off later. When I say train the paper, you're not scoring the paper. You're giving it a rub, right? Yes, of course, Nola, you can cut out hearts with your machine, of course. But this is not about that. This is about how easy punches are. But of course, you can cut it out any other way. And die cut, I mean, there's a bazillion ways to make hearts. But this punch is like the easiest way. But some people can't use punches, so they use other machines. Anyway, so I'm just kind of training the paper so that it kind of stays on, like kind of bent like that, right? Then when I put the adhesive on it, right, it's already sort of folded, and it's just one extra reason it won't pop off of your box, right? And you just need a little bit of adhesive back there, just a little bit of rolling adhesive. And then what you might want to do, I mean, it depends, and if you could put like a little dot of adhesive there if you want. So now the box is ready to assemble, so I can kind of see where the folds are. Okay, and there's the belly band. And you can, of course, use glue. You don't have to use rolling adhesive. All right, oh, that dried like concrete. That was very strong. Okay, a little bit of adhesive there. And now I'm just going to go ahead and do this one right on the box. I was just giving you the lowdown, the little trick, but this is kind of more how I do it. I just do it that quickly. Sometimes I do things slower to teach you, but then I do it a second way, like as fast as I would actually do it. Because if I did things as slow as when I teach them, I wouldn't get anything done. So I just do them slow to teach, but that's really how fast it is to put together. Now you're going to take some dimensionals and put a few dimensionals on there and pop up the next heart on top of the pool party heart. And look at how beautifully they layer with that nice offset and everything. Okay, and there's another one of those. I just thought using this side of the heart gave it like too much red, right? Yuck. It just was too gaudy. Too much red. That's why I'm using the white side. I like a lot of contrast in crafting. Crafting is a lot like photography, where if you're a photographer, you're always like trying to make sure things contrast and stand out and stick out. So that's the same concept when you're crafting. You want to do things. And so I'm just going to put these with dimensionals too. And you can put them under or whatever. It's like something like that, probably under a little bit. Just use a couple dimensionals. Use them down here. Right, like that. And that way, I'm not using dimensionals on the top because this is already sticking up. Like it's already being held up by the top because of that little thing where I'm untucking it in like that. So you don't need to like put dimensionals up near the top because it's already being puffed up. It's already propped up at the top. So you only need dimensionals at the bottom because you're popping it right there. So, I mean, kind of at the sides. Bottom, but across. Always use more than one. Because you don't want wonky crafts, right? No wonky crafts. This one's going to give me a hard time. Okay, there we go. All right, so now we have that, and then we're going to put our little cute ribbon, and then I'll show you what's in some of these. Now, again, I used for my sample, this is my sample, I used what's called the Real Red Faux Linen Ribbon or something like that, right? But however, I don't know what happened to it, or maybe I used it in my Sale-A-Bration card club. Before you trim your ribbon down, even when you're taking it off a roll, this is kind of how I do it. I make sure I have enough, right? Enough to make my bow. 16 inches is usually a good amount to make a nice bow around a box like this, but I like to just make sure I have enough before I trim the other edge off. And yes, I still tie my shoes like I'm in kindergarten. And I tie my bows like I'm in kindergarten. I just do 2 little rabbit ears, loop them around. And then sometimes I get in there with a pencil and puff it out. If it gets twisted a little. Okay, that looks cool. Then you're going to take your little snips, paper snips, and just kind of. So this one, I actually like this ribbon better, but I was trying to focus. So when I do my workshops and my classes, like right now I'm doing a Rainbow of Happiness workshop and bingo workshops and all with the Rainbow of Happiness. And I like to just feature new products. So really, although I really like this Real Red Ruffled ribbon better, which is in the, I guess, the annual catalog or whatever, this one was a new ribbon and I was just trying it out and letting others try it out too. So they're both cool ribbons. This is like a deeper one and this is just more like happy ribbon. I guess we'll call that our happy ribbon. Let me show you what fits in here as I show you my other samples. All right, so let's put this all right here. Let me grab, just to kind of give you an idea. So when you can get your little Ghirardelli chocolate hearts and put them in there. Okay, and you still got lots of room, right? So I'll show you a couple different things I put in mine. These are little pieces of heaven on earth. These are Russell Stover's individually wrapped caramels. Okay, so you could put like different things in there. I'll probably change it up and put like something sour or sweet and then something chocolate in there. I'll probably take out one of the chocolates and put like one chocolate in each. But there you have it. And you want to add some bling, of course, if you can. But I was trying to just go simple for that. But I think a nice type of bling is a new bling. A nice type of bling to add to these projects are called the iridescent rhinestone gems, and they are part of this suite. And of course, I should be using my Take Your Pick tool. Bling is always fun. Put some up there. And just adds that extra little sparkle to your projects. Let me say hello, and then I'm going to show you loads and loads of other Sale-A-Bration items. Sheila from Ohio, Margaret from Colorado, Diana from Kentucky, Gloria from Michigan, Susie from Iowa. I'm pulling out what I did in my ScanNCut tutorial last. That's what I'm going to go through as I'm saying hi to you guys. So one of the things I just did on my channel, if you're new here, is I do all kinds of crafting with the ScanNCut and with Stampin' Up products and paper pumpkin kits, which are from Stampin' Up. So this is just something I did with the ScanNCut yesterday. So you might have seen that video, and now I have made lots of cards since yesterday, and I wanted to kind of come back and show you those because we made them together. You saw me make all the frames for these. All right, so we said this Susie from Ohio, and Dardine is in snowy Ohio, she's saying. Anne from Pennsylvania. Oh, 2 Anns, and they're both from Pennsylvania. But they're spelled, one's with an E and one's without an E. Okay, and Lorna from the UK, and Terry's here, and Nola, and yep, Melissa from Texas is going to go back and watch the beginning, and hi, Julie. Yeah, would the hearts on the DSP cut out well with the ScanNCut? Yeah, I don't know. You're saying, would these hearts cut out? I don't know. I didn't cut these out with the ScanNCut, Nola, because the reason I didn't cut them out with the ScanNCut is I have the dies. The dies really didn't match them, though, that much. I didn't really need to cut them out with the ScanNCut because I had so many hearts with my dies. I don't know if you recall that these dies, like these we cut out with the ScanNCut. I did a tutorial on this piece of paper from this because it was part of the Crafty Goodness, and I have loads of Crafty Goodness from the dies. So sometimes I use dies for more delicate things, and sometimes I use the ScanNCut when it comes to like this piece. So I did this piece here because it was like the candy piece, and I didn't do the other piece. I did this piece with the ScanNCut here on my channel and in the ScanNCut user group. And here's a little remnant of what that looked like. But I had also done another whole page that I used, and then I did a remnant of it. So yeah, okay, Diana's saying yes, she did it. So I didn't do it because I had my other. All right, love the shaker cards. Anyway, so thank you, Susie, for reminding to do thumbs up. Yes, Stampin' Up! Dimensionals are the easiest. Now, sometimes I didn't do shaker cards with the technique I taught yesterday on YouTube. Sometimes I took these frames and just put the Sale-A-Bration paper straight there. Now what I want to do here is put a wobble spring and a little critter here. And I'm going to show you how I used the wobble spring on the otter in a few minutes. I just want to show you my shaker cards, but these are not, I would call these ones are done with the shaker inside, but these ones I think could use a critter on the inside, the ones that didn't have the shaker. And the reason sometimes I didn't make all shaker cards is sometimes they make it really thick and they cost a little more to mail and they're a little bit harder to mail. But I still like them, so sometimes I like to make some flatter cards. So here's all the cards I made with all the technique I taught with the ScanNCut and using all the different kinds of coordinating colors on papers. Now this stamp here is from Blessings of Home stamp set. Thank you for inspiring me. Stamped in Misty Moonlight. That's a pool party base, pool party, soft sea foam, pool party, Granny Apple Green base, pool party, and pool party. And then most of these little frames on the inside are Magenta Madness. All right, so let me take out my bucket and talk about Sale-A-Bration items because, you know, it is already February and I don't know where the time is going, but this Sale-A-Bration special goes on until the end of February or while supplies last. So looking through this little book, I've been doing some things on all these different, you know, featuring these different products. So this is something that features the Designer Series paper. This Daffodil Delight Designer Series paper, okay? This is one called Easter Blessings. And this is one of my card club in this series. So this features the Daffodil Afternoon Free Designer Series paper. And here's another one, Happy Mother's Day. And this features the Daffodil Delight Designer Series paper. So this is just examples of things you can make with these free products. Okay, I don't have this one yet, believe it or not, Catching Butterflies. I can't believe I don't have it yet. It's super cute. And I didn't get driving by yet, but I think I did order it. What happened is I might have got stuff and given it away as a prize, so I used to have it. Now, this is the series I'm doing on YouTube right now, so you're going to see loads and loads of projects with Sunshine and Rainbows Designer Series paper. This is one that we did here in the Card Club series here on YouTube. I showed how to die cut this and make this. Here are 4 projects I'll be doing in an upcoming bingo event. Actually, this one. Now I'm getting them all mixed up. This one. And this one. And then another box that I'll show you. I'm going to show you the box in a moment. I put the box in another bucket. But this is all kinds of things with that paper. Okay, I'm just going to move along and go back to that paper in a minute. Simply Marvelous is another one of the Sale-A-Bration items. So is Awesome Otters. Okay, and we have examples of each. Here's Awesome Otters. Okay, here's Awesome Otters that we did here on YouTube. Showed you how to make this card. Okay. I was going to show you how to ink that up, but then I realized I didn't ink up my sample. So to ink this up, in the corners, what you're going to do is use a little blending brush to ink up the corners. Now, I didn't do that on this one, but you would do this to your corners. But we did that on this tutorial. We did it right here. I showed you how to ink up the edges of a stitch rectangle. So go back and watch that if you're not sure about how to ink up the edges to add extra dimension on them. Here's something we did with the ScanNCut. I showed you how to use the Simply Marvelous paper and make these really cool borders with your ScanNCut. And here's the Hello Friends stamp set. So you see how this is all tying together. All these different products, how they can use them for many things, both basic and advanced. Okay, and then here's Friendly Hello. Okay, and here's one I don't have yet, Magical or Special Moments. And then that one you get free when you spend $100. That's another free $100 special. And then this one is free when you host a party or you spend $300. It's also one of the prizes I always offer those of you that use the host code when you shop. And then that's our joining special. So look in the back of that brochure. This is one we made here on YouTube as part of my Rainbow of Happiness series. Rainbow of Happiness, the dies have already gone on back order. So it's not even called back order. You can't, they're non-orderable, but you can still get the stamp set, the Rainbow of Happiness stamp set. It's just that, and that's what I made all this out of, the Rainbow of Happiness stamp set. And you can still get my Rainbow of Happiness kit and follow along with whatever stamps you have. But you definitely, you want the Rainbow of Happiness stamp set even if you can't get the dies right now. We'll be doing some watercoloring on this channel. This is all watercoloring techniques, part of my workshop. There's the other box I was going to tell you about. This is watercoloring. This is watercoloring. All right, let's see. This box here is the other one that we're making in my Stamping Bingo. Okay, this is one we're doing here on YouTube, this little box. Here's some we've done on YouTube, showing you how to make treat toppers, diaper folds. We've done diaper folds. Okay, all right, here's some more boxes. Now, I wanted to show you all these boxes now. That's how I was going to end this tutorial here. Oh, and here's one that if you took my ScanNCut courses, and if you haven't taken my ScanNCut courses, there are current coupons in the description of this video. You know how to make these boxes with your ScanNCut. These are now file boxes. But in this series, I'm going to show you how to make them manually, how to make these boxes. I did not make this with my machine. I made this I just made it with my Simply Scored and my paper trimmer. All right, so anyway, I wanted to show you, this is a watercolored box. I wanted to show you some things about these boxes that we just made. Okay, I'm kind of bringing this full circle. These little boxes that we just made are so different depending on how you decorate them. So here's one decorated with the Rainbow of Happiness Designer Series paper. I did not reinvent the wheel to make this project. I used the 7" by 1" belly band. Let's write that down so you can have something to write here. Okay, I used the same thing. So DSP, 7 inches times 1 inch. Okay, and then cardstock is, this is the cardstock that this was 3 1/4. This was the real red cardstock, 3 1/4 times 2 1/4. I told you I'd write that down for you. Okay, I didn't reinvent the wheel. When I just did this, I used the same exact design as this here, okay? So I'm thinking, oh, I'm going to do something for my Stampin' Bingo. I don't go start all over and start using up all kinds of brain power, because right now this is a cool design. There's already these same boxes, right? I put the ribbon in a different place. I put the belly band in a different place. This paper is the same size. It's 3 1/4 by 2 1/4. I used the layered heart punch pack that I just used here, and I used the messages die for the sentiment. I used the pool party sheer ribbon. Okay, so you can just take that same concept I just taught you and decorate it any way you want. Okay, and then I showed this one is just decorated with watercolors. Okay, let me get some more of these boxes to kind of, like I said, I was going to come full circle. I'm saving my otter for last because it's my favorite. In one of my tutorials here on YouTube in my Ink It Up series, I showed you how to use a baby wipe technique for stamping. And I stamped right onto the box. So this is one of the sweet little boxes made with the, oh, I already forgot the name of it. Artistic something. Artfully Layered. It's called Artfully Layered. Okay? And here are some I showed you with the ScanNCut tutorial. How to cut out the little paper. This is the Sweet Talk paper. Again, that 1" by 7" belly band around the box. These are little things we cut out with the ScanNCut, the little candies. Okay. Another one. These I keep putting in my care packages so I write down what kind of products I used on them. That's why this one's in a bag, because this one's going in a care package. And I say care package, it could go like in my bingo kit or one of my kits. All right. We're going. We're almost there. You're utterly awesome. We created this one on YouTube when I first got my otter stamp. This is another one of those Simply Marvelous papers. All right, ready for my final project that I wanted to share today. There is a reason sometimes to not hoard your stamp supplies, and there's a reason that you should hoard stamp supplies. So when it comes to something this cute, I don't care that it retired, I could not get rid of it. It's so stinking cute. Stinking sweet. It's called Hey Love. So it's a retired one. How well does that go with the new, Sale-A-Bration? Right? Look at the little otter. Right? You otter be my Valentine. So I made this little box for my husband using a retired stamp and a current stamp. And my ScanNCut. Of course, I used the ScanNCut to cut out this. So that's ready for my final project I'm going to share. I always share projects at the end of my videos, so that's why there's always a reason to stick around till the end. I'm just letting you see those measurements. Here it is. This is the box I made for my husband. And then I'm going to show you what you can fit inside these boxes too. A couple of them. So I put this one on a wobble spring. So he wobbles. He's the bigger otter, he wobbles. And using the ScanNCut. And I stamped straight onto the box. And I'm using some new blends. We use some blends. Or we have these new blends that are, they're part of a new, you may have seen a lot of people talking about this on YouTube recently. There's a new series or a new collection called Here Together, and there's some new blend colors, and there's some new dyes, and there's new stamps, and I'll be doing more with these, but they have all these kinds of skin tones, and I've also mixed some of my other colors in here, with like my crumb cakes and my petal pinks, but I have all kinds of skin tones now that I can color my cute little animals with. So I was able to make the otters very different because of my extra skin tone blends. All right, so let's show you. I told you I'd show you, as promised, what you can fit inside these boxes. So this one for my husband is just a Sour Patch Kids, because he likes those. Okay, this one is M&Ms. Okay, so I already showed you could put the Ghirardelli hearts in it. This one I was telling you I didn't realize how to put them together at the beginning, and I was putting them. Okay, Ghirardelli chocolate squares. 2 Ghirardelli chocolate squares can fit in there. So, see what I was saying? Like, if I didn't know which way the box went, I was putting things in the wrong side. Okay, I'm not going to open this one because it's already in a bag, but let's see what's in this one. Okay, just giving you ideas of what you can put in all your boxes. There you go. So, thank you all for watching. I hope you got to have lots of ideas on not only how to create these boxes, but how to decorate other kinds of boxes with other materials that you may have, and all kinds of ideas on what you can put in your boxes. Lots of techniques we covered: stamping, die cutting, embossing. Wobble spring, Sheila, I will put in the VIP group, and I'll put inside the video. I'll go ahead and link it inside the comments of this video. The wobble springs, I'll show you what size. There's 2 size wobble springs. This is the mini one. I'll link to it. But I do like, wobbling little animals. Lots of fun. Anyway, thank you for watching. This is the Paper Chef, and we'll see you next time.